Now knowing the definitions of the trigonometric functions, let's get some more practice just using them, right? And we can use the trigonometric functions with those special angles from our completed unit circle. And so that's what we're going to do in this video. So it's going to be a lot of examples. If you need to, make sure to pull out that completed unit circle. Maybe you've already committed it to memory or have had enough practice with it. Otherwise, make sure to refer to this as needed. All right, so pi over 4, okay? This is our special angle, okay? And so if we want, again, look at this, this is an angle in radians and an angle in radians on the unit circle. So this is our angle theta, but then as long as it's in radians, this would be the same value of t, okay? We went through that in previous videos, so I'm not going to say more on that. So now I'm just going to evaluate sine, cosine, all these things at that trigonometric point. And if we need, maybe it's useful to say p of pi over 4, just for our own reference, is square root of 2 over 2, comma, square root of 2 over 2. If you need that work off to the side, feel free. Otherwise, there isn't that much work to show because the sine coordinate is just the y value, so square root of 2 over 2. Cosine is x, also square root of 2 over 2. Tangent would be, okay, square root of 2 over 2 divided by square root of 2 over 2 x over y, right? And if you simplify this, you just get 1. Okay, so I'll box my answers. Cotangent, reciprocal of 1, which is tangent, right, is just 1. Okay, and now secant and cosecant, they are going to be 1 over x and 1 over y respectively. So secant is 1 over square root of 2 over 2. If you end up going through the arithmetic, to simplify this, you'd just get square root of 2. Similar thing happens here, 1 over square root of 2 over 2, and this is just square root of 2. Okay, I'll show that math quickly below. So there you go. Okay, make sure you can do that on your own too. All right, moving on. On to negative 150. So negative 150, right, if you do this, this would be equal to, in radians, negative 5 pi over 6, okay? And this is also coterminal. I'm just not going to say that these things are equal, but this would be coterminal with 7 pi over 6. Okay, and so this is going to be my angle theta, which is also t once I get this on the unit circle. Okay, and so I look at my unit circle. Okay, I'm not going to do it right now, but if I do, I would get the point. So this is in quadrant 3. I'd get negative square root of 3 over 2, comma, negative 1/2. Okay, so then sine would be the y coordinate, which is negative 1/2. Cosine is the x coordinate, negative square root of 3 over 2. Tangent would be y, negative 1/2, over negative square root of 3 over 2. And I need more room. I'll write down the answer after you rationalize and everything. This ends up being square root of 3 over 3. I'll show the arithmetic for that below. And cotangent would be 3 over square root 3, and then again, now I have the room, I can rationalize this thing. So multiply by square root 3 over square root 3, and you get 3 square root 3 over 3, which would just reduce to square root 3. And then secant and cosecant against, let's see, secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so 2 over negative root 3, which just becomes negative 2 root 3 over 3. Cosecant would be the reciprocal of negative 1/2, which is negative 2 over 1, better known as negative 2. Okay, so here are my answers for this angle. Negative 150 degrees, again, convert it to radians and work with that. All right. All right, next two. I'm going to do 90. I want you to try pi on your own. All right, so 90, again, this would be negative 90 rather. This is negative pi over 2, okay? And this would also be coterminal with 3 pi over 2, which gives you the point. So this would be our theta, which is our t. And so then we get that the point p of negative pi over 2, okay, or p of 3 pi over 2 is the point 0, negative 1. Okay, so then again, I can just go ahead and start. So sine is negative 1, cosine is 0, tangent would be y over x, which is negative 1 over 0. That's problematic. We can't divide by 0. So what is this actually? Undefined. Or sometimes you see DNE for does not exist. Either one. Cotangent would be the reciprocal x over y, which is 0 over negative 1. This one does exist, it's just 0. Secant would be the reciprocal of cosine, so 1 over 0, which is, this is also undefined. And then cosecant would be the reciprocal of negative 1, which is just negative 1. Okay, so I have my answers there. Okay, so make sure that whenever you're dividing by 0, if that is what you get for a trig function, I mean, that is a valid process, the final answer. However, you cannot leave it as 1 over 0. You have to say it's undefined. All right. As I said, you're going to do pi on your own. So go ahead and do pi, find sine, cosine, tangent, all the things for that, and resume the video when you're ready to see the solution. And there you go. Chances are when you have a compass point or a trigonometric point that is a compass point, you are going to have some undefineds floating around because you're going to have a 0 for either x or y, right? And if you have to divide by one of those, that's when you're going to get it to be undefined. So just something to pay attention to. Okay. Otherwise, in this video, we got a little bit more practice writing out trig functions and finding their values for different special angles.